Hi, it's San, your National Ambassador of Love and Fluffiness, and today we are on episode 3 of Fuwa Call Time. Yes, and today our special guest is Kianna, yay, from the US.
Yay, hi, hello.
Kianna, introduce yourself to our viewers.
Hi, everyone. My name is Kianna. I'm a dancer and choreographer based in New York. And I've bounced around to like a bunch of different genres, but mostly Odottemita, K-pop, and idol style choreography. Yeah.
Yeah, I've always watched you since quite early on. Yeah, like you, Ari,
Thank you.
and Key. Yeah, I guess from Dreaming Choo Choo, that's like one of your most popular choreographies, right?
Yeah. Dreaming Choo Choo.
Uh,
Wow,
uh.
feels so long ago.
Yeah, I've always wondered. Also for the viewers out there who don't know, Kianna is part of a duo, I guess, called Ariki. That's one of the duos that you dance in, right? And then Ari is your sister, correct?
Yes, Ari is my twin. They use they, them, and he, him pronouns. So I usually call Ari either my twin or my brother these days. Yeah, it's not super widely known, but that is how I refer to Ari.
I see.
But yeah, we are a twin dance group
Oh,
duo.
so who's older, you or Ari?
Who's older? I mean,
Yeah.
technically I would be the older twin. And I
Mm.
think kind of when people meet us, they're like, yeah, you kind of give older sibling vibes.
But when you guys make all the choreographies for Odottemita, you guys do it together?
Yes, yeah. Anything that you see both of us in has was both of us have had input in it. I mean, we each have our strengths, different things that we are better at creating. Like for a while, I was called Sabi Captain, like meaning like the chorus of the song is usually the thing that I would work on first, or that like I would be really good at creating like a catchy chorus. And then Ari would be called like the inspector, so they would be really good at like weaving a lot of the bigger ideas between the two of us together to create the choreo. So it kind of creates like a really a different experience than if we were to do it separately.
I guess also if like you've worked with someone for so long, then
Hmm.
there'll be like a very specific, unique way that you guys work. I think it's quite interesting. So you're like more of the chorus person. That means like the hooks or like the catchy bits, right?
Yeah, usually, and it's not always the case, but usually I come up with ideas like a little bit faster. They're not always very like refined, and it's not always like the final product, but I'll be able, usually, I have like really strong images in my mind, and so I'm able to kind of like get those out very quickly. And then Ari's very good at being like, what if we try this? What if we like do this to make it a little bit more interesting? Or what if we do for like dynamics and subtlety and things like that? Ari's really, really good at pinpointing those things and like really making things like meld together. Um, so yeah, I would say that that's been our process for the longest time.
So they really like check, think have the bigger picture in mind and like slow things down compared to you when like you churn out
Oh,
ideas. Uh,
absolutely, for sure. Because I'll be like, can we just get this done? And Ari's like, slow down. Like, we want it to be, a complete idea. And they're really good at really honing in on like the finer details.
does Ari do they also do K-pop?
Yeah, Ari does do K-pop in public as well. These days, actually, I would say they do more covers than I do, just because I've been like so busy. Um, but definitely, actually, that started because a friend brought us to one of their filmings one day. And I was like, wow, this is really cool. Why am I not doing this? And so then I started it. And then I eventually like was like, come on, Ari, come try. And so it started with me doing like a lot of the covers and Ari being in it one every once in a while. And now I would say Ari has really kind of like taken that on, and
They've
you'll
like
see them in a,
integrated into the K-pop culture and public
yeah,
dancing.
yeah. Well, I mean, we both are, but I'd say like these days they're more active in the groups that we are both a part of.
Yeah, I don't know a lot of people who do K-pop in public covers. It's usually in public, right? For K-pop. That's like the
Yeah,
thing.
usually 99% of the time it is in public. And that's because people are really interested in seeing the reaction from the audience behind us a lot of the time. There are some people who actually will only look at the audience. They like don't really focus on the dancers because they're very interested in seeing, I guess, like your everyday people's
People
reaction to,
watching.
yeah, which is interesting, for sure.
But like I've seen the K-pop covers that you guys have done, and
Oh, thank
like the
you.
places seem so crowded, you know? It's like the city. There's just
Yeah,
so many
yeah.
people. Like, because I do Odottemita in public also, but like, it's not the K-pop in public. It is the find a corner and hope that no one walks by. So like when you guys
Yeah,
go out into the cities and streets to film, like how do you even just get the space, you know?
right. Yeah, it really is the exact opposite of Odottemita, where you're like, nobody look at me, have as few people in the background as possible. Um, yes, you kind of just take up space. I would say, I think it kind of depends on like what city you're in. New York is definitely one of like the more congested, like compact cities. So literally our team will kind of just show up. Usually people who show up to Times Square are very used to different kinds of like public performances happening. Like they
Um,
kind of go there to like see different stuff like going on and take pictures and whatnot. So they're kind of used to that. So we'll just kind of show up in our outfits and, we're like wearing like,
bling
matching
bling.
outfits, right? And like super decked out. And people are like, what's that? And so kind of just by playing music and getting information, people usually take a step back. Most people do and we'll just start.
So it
Like
is
we'll
just
just
like a street performance.
essentially, yeah. And then we also have PAs that help out. So there'll be people who are in our group and we'll be like, hey, is anyone free to just kind of come help like watch our bags and like do a little bit of crowd control or to hold music. So it's like a group effort to kind of make sure that everything goes smoothly and gets done.
But the whole Times Square area has just a bunch of public performances, and it's like you don't even need a permit to perform. Do
That's the
you?
tricky part. So technically, in order to perform publicly and to accumulate a certain number of people, you do need a permit in some places, and there are some places that you're not even technically allowed to film. But I think that like on paper, they're like you can't film here, but there are so many public performances that happen all the time. They'll allow it as long as you don't create too much of a crowd, or if there's not like an official event going on, kind of depending on the day, you can get away with it, or we like move around. But yeah, technically, you do need a permit in order to like hold a public event. Um, but we don't advertise them usually as public events. We don't usually invite people to come out and like support. Because for that you would need a permit. We kind of do it guerrilla style. We'll just show up, film in 2 hours, and then leave.
I see.
Sometimes we do get shut down. Sometimes we do have to move around a lot. Sometimes it can be a little bit rowdy. Sometimes there's another performance group that's completely unrelated to like the K-pop sphere, and they're like, get out of our space, get out of our turf, and we kind of have to like work together to like find a spot to get it done.
I see. Yeah, I've had my fair share of like getting kicked out of parks or like gardens in front of the
Yeah.
areas. Yeah, but over here we do have one K-pop group. I think they probably do get permit to dance in like one of the more posh areas, and then they get
Mm,
to advertise it on Instagram saying like tonight show up here. We're gonna film this cover. Yeah, so that's
that's
quite
so
cool.
nice.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. But the
it's
thing
been
about
very rare that we've gotten permits. I think I've only seen us get permits. Like there was one time when it was a huge group dance and they were like, no matter what, we cannot get shut down. So they got a permit for that. And then if we're doing like a collaboration, like an official event with either like a studio or a K-pop group, then we'll definitely get the permit.
yeah. Yeah, I think no, there was once, right, side story. I was at a train station, and then usually train stations, some of them have buskers, and in
Yeah,
Singapore you need a license to busk. So it's usually quite
right.
set up, like fixed location, fixed timing. And then it was so funny because there were two groups of buskers. Like one is a small, like 3 people band, and then one is like a 2 people band, and they were both at the same location and just singing over each other.
Oh my God.
I think
Why?
maybe one of them had a permit and the other didn't and refused to leave, and they're like, okay, we're gonna play this battle and see who's louder. I don't know. It was
That
so
is
bad.
so chaotic.
Yeah. I was like, are they just playing over each other?
They're just
Yeah.
like, listen, like, I'm not letting go of this spot.
Yeah. Okay. So other than doing K-pop, you've also recently been doing streaming activities. Yeah. So tell us about that.
Yeah, I started streaming about a year ago, and it started because, well, really, it's because I've been active in the VTuber space for the last couple of years, and that's really piqued my interest. And I've been like, I should try streaming like that. This kind of sounds fun. I've wanted to try it. I've had like a Twitch channel for a couple of years, and always told myself I would stream, but never did. So one day, I think I remember I just tweeted out like, man, I think I'd like to try streaming this year, and kind of out of the woodworks, like people just came out and they were like, streaming, you want to try streaming? Like, let me know. And
Or like other
um,
streamers.
other streamers or just people who are used to like modding other people's channels kind of like came out and were like, hey, if you ever need help setting up, or if you
Ah.
like need assets or like a mod, let me know and I'll help walk you through it. And so that really kind of like helped me to start too, because I didn't know like what I was doing or what OBS was or any of like the streaming software that you use or anything. And I kind of just I did I did a choreography stream first because I didn't have assets or overlays or anything like fancy. I just turned on my camera and was like, hello everyone. And just started sharing. I was really interested in sharing my process and just like my thoughts, and just I really wanted to find something that felt like a home base, because at the time I was active in like so many areas, um, and it kind of felt like if I wasn't doing really well in each of those areas, I was kind of failing. Like if I wasn't like choreographing at the time, or if I wasn't in like a million dance projects, or like if I didn't get the views that I expected, or like whatever it was, or if I wasn't like doing videos, I was like, oh man, like I'm really not like doing anything. And so I was looking for both a place to be creative, but also a place where like I could be creative and I didn't feel like the pressure to do it well. I just wanted to like do something. So that's really why I started streaming. And it's been really fun because I feel like I've gotten to experiment in ways that I've never been able to before. Like right now I use a VTuber model. It's a free to use model that an artist called Sakuraimon put out, and it's called his Mochan model. And I've like been using that.
Oh,
And
that model's free? Oh, I think it's so
yeah, that
cute.
Yeah, it's really adorable. I'm surprised that more people don't use it. Like, I think when it first came out, there were people who were like really interested in trying it. So they just like, were like, wow, this would be me. But I don't think I've seen like one or two other streamers using that model. There's probably more, but it's just not as common. But yeah, so I've been using that one, and it's been a year, and I do different kinds of content. I'm learning how to play games. I jokingly call myself a Canva artist because I really enjoy messing around on Canva. Sometimes
You
I'll
have
turn
Canva
off.
Premium?
Yeah, I do actually. Yeah. Initially I got it because I needed something to like make thumbnails, and I wanted to make my own overlays, and eventually, and also when I started out I didn't have any games, and I was like, what am I going to do when I don't feel like dancing? I'll just mess around in Canva. And so now sometimes I just turn on Canva and I'll like chat and I'll just make whatever I want.
Graphic design.
Yes, graphic design is my passion. Yes. But yeah, so that's been really fun. And recently, I've gone from streaming on YouTube to streaming on Twitch, and we have a good time. And yeah, it's been really fun. I'm enjoying myself a lot with that.
Would you ever do like motion capture? Cause like I have a friend who also does like dancing and then streaming, like VTuber streaming. And then she like
Mm-hmm.
always talks about how a mocap suit costs like $2,000 and it's
It
so
yes.
expensive if she would ever get one.
Yes, I have gotten to experiment in a mocap suit before, not
Ah,
publicly, but I have gotten to like get inside one. They are extremely expensive. Even like the cheapest setup is like thousands of dollars, and then that's not even like the highest quality that's out there because you need the suit and all like enough space and the infrared cameras, and there can't be like any like obscurities or interruptions, and like even then it's kind of hard to set up. Uh, but I would love to do more. It's really fun. It is. I liked it a lot. The like one time I got to try it. So,
I guess
but it is
that's
also
why
very
also
expensive.
even like
Yeah.
Hololive, they rarely do 3D concerts. It's like only on a special occasion then they'll bring out the 3D suits.
Yeah, some of them have their own setups. Like I know Amelia Watson has her own setup in well, where she is, and like a couple of others, and some of them will use like a smaller, like a more accessible version called Mocappy, where they just
Oh,
have
the 6 points or
yeah,
something.
yeah, like the wristbands and like and that you can also kind of get away with a lot with that. Um, yeah, I think Kiara has her own 3D, it's her own setup now too. I'm pretty sure their studio in Japan that has like a bajillion cameras and a lot of space and like cutting edge technology.
Mm,
Hmm.
yeah, I'm sure like Japan or like maybe even if you go to LA, there might be like studios where they just do all the motion capture stuff, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Maybe there's a place that does it rental based. Oh,
There's places in New York too. I don't know where they are. I need
or
to
how
find
much
out
they
where they
cost.
are. Yeah, yeah, that too. But there are places. It's just I guess, and I've like tried to look them up, and I can't find them. So I'm on the hunt. I'm on the hunt, and I will
If you
let
are
people
in the
know.
US and you know a place, comment down below.
Yes, please tell me if there are places in the New York area that
Right?
have
Imagine some
access to
random
motion capture.
person.
Right? Yeah, they're like, I've got a studio. Yeah. Honestly, maybe I should just tweet that out and be like, does anyone know anyone? Because that's how I started streaming. So maybe.
Hey, oh yeah, so speaking of like VTubers, other people have commissioned you for choreography before, yeah. And like
Hmm.
one of it is like Takanashi Kiara, another VTuber, right? Yeah, I thought that was just so cool, like choreographing for other people. Like could never could never imagine. Yeah, so uh there's a viewer question. It was what are the challenges of designing choreography for digital models, like a 3D model, compared to just doing it for like regular Odottemita dances?
Hmm. I think one of the strengths of Odottemita is that you can tell a lot of the story with like your fingers and facial expressions. Um, and even kind of like with like just dancing on like a person in general, there's a lot you can tell with like just like your hands and your fingers, right? Like ooh, papa, like
Papa,
you
papa,
know. Hmm.
papa.
Um, you can get away with a lot in that realm. And there's like a lot of like angles and things like that that you can make with your body that you is harder to do for motion capture depending on how the technology that you have for like tracing. I remember when I first started working with Kiara, she specifically told me, it'd be great if when you're focusing on this, when you're working on this, if you can focus on like bigger movement and not too many hand details.
Mm.
Uh, because we don't have at the time didn't was concerned that she might not have had tracking that would pick up hand details, like even making a heart was like really hard to capture. And I was like, what? But with like I never with making choreography in like Odottemita or even idol choreography, like you do peace signs, you do
Yeah,
hearts, like the whole time. You do all kinds of like really cute things that accentuate your face and stuff like that. And so that was kind of a challenge to figure out at first. I realized how much storytelling that I relied on with like just hand motions. And so that was kind of a learning curve to like kind of figure out how to could still tell a story without using hand motions. Um, and then I realized that kind of depending on the kind of model that you have, right? With like VTubers, sometimes the dimensions that they have is like not the same as like a human body, right? Like
Oh,
they'll have like horns, or like their arms are surprisingly short in comparison to the rest of their body. So they'll like fade through like their head, or maybe they have like, you know, really big sleeves, or things like that. So I don't think that that's something that every choreographer worries about, but it's definitely something that I put into consideration when choreographing specifically for her.
did you have to go through a lot of revisions for the choreography?
Oh, oh yes. I think it depends on the client. I would say with Kiara, I tended to have to do more revisions than I was used to, depending on like what she was looking for. She has a very strong vision of what she wants every time she like has something. Um, and so there would be times when it would be like, I really like this, but can you, you know, like try something else here? Or I really like this part, but maybe let's like, or can we like scrap that idea and start over? So like that was definitely a challenge. I was not used to going through that many revisions, but at the same time, I really wanted to like nail it. So I was like, I'm really grateful for that process. It really allows me to kind of come up with new ideas each time, and like really like dig deep into like my artistry and be like, you know, how many more ways can I come up with ideas to express this one thing? And I feel like I've learned a lot, and I've like gained more like different pathways of movement from doing that. So definitely, yeah, yeah.
Do
Hmm.
you like, do you, so when you choreograph, you probably send over like video files and stuff, right? That's what I usually do. I send over
Yep,
videos.
yep.
Do
The
you get
videos.
to like sit down and like, I don't know, teach her like in person?
No, no, I wish. She's so busy.
I
So,
see.
I wish that one day, and I'm sure there's like a couple of other reasons why we would never have like a face to face, uh, kind of like interaction. Probably something. I feel like I don't know. I've never asked if it's like possible to be like, hey, can we just like hop on a call?
Call.
There's probably something like legality reasons why that isn't possible. I don't know. I've never asked. But she's also really busy. So usually it's just I just send the video. And then once it's approved, then that's the last that I'll hear until it's done.
I see. Because like there was once
Yeah.
I made a choreography for my friend, and then I didn't actually sit down with her to like teach her the choreography. I just said, "Here's the video," because I know you can.
Yeah.
I know you're capable of learning from a video. So here's the video, and then like when she did it, I was like, "Oh, she misunderstood me." Like, oh, that
Yeah.
wasn't what the hand sign. Oh well, you know, like some things get a bit lost in the communication. But
Yeah. I mean, I think. Mhm.
in the end, the person who dances it becomes the original, you know, in a sense.
I agree. I agree. I think that that's the beautiful thing about it. And I think that that's something that people who have never commissioned original choreography, or people who have never done Odottemita or even K-pop in public, are really afraid of. They're like, you know, what if I look worse, quote unquote, than the original? What if I look different than the original? And I always try to express to people that that's kind of the beauty of it, is that like when it goes from person to person, it's going to look different. And yes, sometimes you're going to like miss details, but sometimes you'll also bring something completely new to it that didn't exist in it before, you know?
So not just choreographing for Kiara, you also choreograph for idols, which like idol dancing is like a whole different thing, even though it's also under the umbrella of Odottemita.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
Paida, Alex Pinku, Keiki Hime. But
Mm-hmm.
I actually really like Paida stuff. Yes. Paida is such a
Yes.
like unique idol, and like I don't know, I feel like her whole space concept suits her so well. Yeah. When an idol commissions you to do a
Mm-hmm.
choreography for them, what are the information that you usually try and get from them, or like what do you try and find out before you even start doing the choreography?
Yeah. So this is something that I actually do with anyone who commissions me in general. Uh, I will ask if they don't have a specific idea in mind for me already, like if they don't come to me saying like I need this. I love learning about idols lore, any kind of like inside jokes that they have, like with their community, any kind of like things that they enjoy to do on stage, like are what kind of performer are you? Do you enjoy like really big dance breaks, or are you more of like I like to walk along the stage and make a lot of eye contact, and things like that. Like I will try to get that kind of information from idols so that I can, when I'm choreographing, I'm imagining myself as that person, and that kind of helps me to like inform the movement that I'm making.
Hmm.
So I'll usually ask, what kind of performer are you? Is there any specific lore that you have? And also, are there any like bodily injuries or limitations that you have as well to make
Oh
sure? And
yes.
then also like, what's their skill level? So things like that I'll do, because it doesn't make sense for me to like, be like, cool, I'll go and I'll do like a backflip. And then they're like, I can't do that. um, yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I think injuries is a big thing, right? Like I have some friends who can't kneel down, so it doesn't make sense to ask them to kneel down as well.
Right.
If they
Exactly.
have backup dancers, you have to choreograph a group dance, including the backup dancers, right?
Yeah, I've never actually done group choreography before. I would love to.
Oh.
Um, I don't have access to. I haven't figured out like for myself how to do that for like a big group. Because I would need like a skeleton team, and I just haven't like figured that out for myself. So usually they're just like soloists or duos who will commission me, or me and Ari as well. Um,
Mm.
Yeah, because actually anything we've done for Paida is also like Ariki specific. Like both of us have worked on it.
Ah, I see. Yeah,
Hmm.
because I imagine that if you had a group choreo, then you would need to duplicate yourself or
Yeah, you either
find
need to duplicate yourself or you need to like find
get
people who are willing
friends.
to work with you. Yeah, on that
Mm.
specifically. And I don't know the challenges like elsewhere, but it can be really hard to like bring together people in New York specifically, for like whatever it is, just because like it's it's really hard to like get places in my opinion and get everyone together at the same time for like a specific like time slot. um I had to I brought together a bunch of my friends before to make a like a minute and a half to like a K-pop song, because at the time I was interested in doing K-pop inspired choreography and I wanted a promo video for it. And like just that was really hard to coordinate. Like you had people who were like, oh, I can't do this anymore, or like traffic issues or like life issues or whatever. So like just getting
Traffic
like a group of
issues.
people. Yeah, yeah. In New York, oh, absolutely. On the subway, absolutely. Yeah.
Oh.
um, yeah, or just life or what have you. Like it would just be really hard to like gather people together for something like that. And then me personally, I know everyone's different. I don't like asking people to work for free. So because if it's a commission, I'm being paid for it. So anytime there's like any commission work that I do, I would most likely ask for not just um, compensation for myself, but also my dancers. So I feel like kind of until that falls into place, I probably won't do like group choreo stuff. Um, yeah.
Mm, cool. Are there a lot of odorites in New York
Hmm.
specifically? Like, are there a lot of Odottemita dancers over there?
Um, on the East Coast, there are hardly any that I have found. I think there used to be more. A lot of them will exist in like their own dance groups, and they'll usually only come together for conventions. They usually don't upload videos in the same style that most Odottemita do.
Like with the
Sorry.
brackets at the front and the
Yeah.
name at the
Yeah.
back.
Right, exactly. Yeah, most of anyone who likes Odottemita music and likes learning it, they usually don't have like their own consistent channels. I think there are more now. Actually, there's like more than ever. But in my specific area, I haven't interacted with them or I haven't like seen them. I don't know. I don't know where they are. Um,
But they're
yeah.
there. They're somewhere
Yeah,
out there.
they're somewhere. They're somewhere. But I think uh, at least for as long as I've been in the Odottemita community, I haven't seen too many in the New York area.
Mm.
Usually they're not just odorite. Usually they're also like, I'm just like a dancer in general in like the con scene. I enjoy K-pop and I also like Hatsune Miku. And they're like a lot more casual with it. Like they'll be like, here's like a little like TikTok kind of thing, but it's not the same culture I think as it used to be even a couple of years ago or even in Japan or anything like that.
Yeah. Oh, I totally get it. Like when people, how to say, when the culture has evolved that the label doesn't really apply anymore. Like an example
Right.
was there was one con I went to because I'm also like always just looking out for any local odorite that show up in my community. Like if we see
Hmm.
a video that looks like it was shot in Singapore, we will like hunt the person down. It's like, oh, where are they from? Like, what kind of background do they have, and like what they're into. Yeah. So, the story was I went to a convention that had a dance competition. Yeah, it's a Japanese convention that had a dance competition, and then I like there were so many like uh young girls because I think the audience for this convention was a bit younger, like teenagers. So
Hmm.
I went to the competition and then I asked for like all the dancers' Instagram accounts to like find out more about them. And a lot of it were just like regular cosplayers or like regular people who just so happen to like do a dance and then they decide to join this competition. But if you ask them, oh, do you do Odottemita? They wouldn't even know what it is, you know?
Right,
So it's
right.
like,
Yeah.
because it's just a Japanese word, not everyone knows Japanese. So
Right. Exactly.
yeah, but oh, I hope you can find other odorites in your area. It's always good to
Yeah,
have like people to form groups with.
yeah, that would be really nice. I would like that.
Mm.
um I mean, I also definitely myself, I've been not as close with the Odottemita community. Like I haven't uploaded an Odottemita video in like years. Um so I know that like probably part of the reason why I don't know what's out there is because I just haven't been like as active. Like I know people are out there, I just don't know where they are
Mm. It's
these
okay. You just
days.
focus on whatever you want to do at that time, and when you want
Yeah.
to dance, you have the space to dance. Mm.
Mm. Yeah. I
Yeah.
do I do like keeping in touch and like kind of seeing um like who is still active after all this time. I don't you know Fiona, right?
Yeah. Is it
Yeah,
Fiona from
like
the UK?
yes, yes.
Oh
Like for example,
yeah.
I love her and a couple of other people are really good at kind of like keeping the international Odottomita community together with like their like huge group videos um and things like that. Yeah. I
Mm.
love that. Oh, also a couple of years ago, me and Ari got to meet an Odorite Jojo, who the boy
Jojo
Jojo.
Koshka?
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Yeah, Jojo.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's
And
also really
we got to
active
do
in
a
the
video with him.
international scene.
Yes, yes. He has like a new dance group right now with I think with like three of them. There's like three of them together, something like that. I hope I'm not
Mm.
misspeaking. I'm pretty sure that's what I've seen
I also think
lately
it's
and
three
that
of
they've
them.
been yeah, and that they've been active lately. We got to meet him, so I think every once in a while we'll get to meet someone who is like, I'm an authority, like every once in a while, but it's pretty far and few in between. And he's like
Mm.
far.
Uh, What cons nearby are there in like your side of the coast?
There's Anime NYC. There is Katsukan, which happens. Where is that at? Like Pennsylvania or something. Like there's Katsukan, which is pretty local. There's Teko, which I used to love going to every single year. I miss going to Teko. What else? There's like local Comic Cons and things like that. There's Otakan that happens in the summer.
Hmm.
Mm, and like a few others, but I think those
That
are
sounds
the
like a
biggest
lot.
ones. Yeah, I would say those are the biggest ones. But in New York specifically, there is Anime NYC is the biggest one, and New York Comic Con, which is starting to have a dance community, because
Ah.
yeah, which is really cool. That because one of our one of the groups that I'm in, a couple of them got to perform at Comic Con as like a K-pop act last year, and there was like a whole slot for like local K-pop and public groups to perform there. So that was really fun.
Uh, yeah, that sounds great. Okay, yeah, if I
Mhm.
ever go to New York, I would check out those places and those cons. It's
Yes.
usually end of year, right? Or summer.
Uh,
Actually, I don't know.
Anime NYC used to be in the fall, but they're doing it in the summer this year.
Hmm.
And Comic Con is in the fall, I believe. And then Katsukan is in the winter, like early February, and Otakon is also in the summer. Yeah, a lot of conventions this year are like all in the same time period, so I have to like choose which one I can actually make it to.
Hmm.
But yeah.
Hmm. Okay, we can end here. Yes. So thank you,
Woo!
Kiana,
Thank
for
you.
being here and entertaining us with your wonderful insights. Do you
Thank
have
you so much for
anything?
having me.
Do you have anything you want to promote? Yeah, like your Twitch and everything.
Anything that I want to promote, I mean, I'm kind of all over the place, but still very active. You can, I kind of keep everything on my Twitter account. So if you're ever like, what's Kiana up to? You can follow me there, Key Sweets, because there is where I'll kind of streamline everything, whether if it's like when I'm live on Twitch or YouTube, or if I've like choreographed for someone, or if I'm like in like a K-pop video, or if I'm like, doing anything like that. So yeah, I would say that's the easiest place to find me if you want to keep up with stuff that I'm doing. Um, yeah, and just thank you for having me today. I really, I
Mm,
really appreciate it.
no problem. Okay, if that's all, then next week or next episode, join us for our next guest. It's gonna be Momoko from Taiwan. Yes, we'll look forward to that.
Woo!
For now,
Yay.
Janne. Bye bye.